Happy Aloha Friday, happy Pay It Forward Friday, and another episode of Ask Cindy Connector Live. Well, hello. This is Cindy, your host over at Ask Cindy Connector Live. Make sure you follow me on Facebook, TikTok, and Instagram. And if you follow and subscribe on YouTube, you comment and you share this very video. I actually have a Costa Rica, Mexico, Hawaii trip, Thailand. Just let me know where you want to go. And it's going to be really amazing for you to take a little vacation on me for a hotel giveaway. So pretty cool. So a little bit about Ask Cindy Connector Live. This is a way for me to connect you to my sphere of influence. And just stay tuned for our amazing guest today. And so for National Day Calendar, today is Postal Worker Day. And the 5th is Hawaii Day. And the 7th, Dive Bar Day. So make sure that you mark your calendar. You could also download the National Day Calendar app. So let's watch this video.
My name is Brandon S. Chabner. I am a sole owner and CEO of the law office of Brandon S. Chabner here in Hermosa Beach, and we do corporate law and estate planning and regulatory law. And I've been in business since 2007. Before that, I worked with various law firms in Southern California and also on the East Coast, and primarily focused on corporate law. I've been an attorney since 1990. Prior to law school, I went to Yale College and was majored in political science, graduated with distinction, magna cum laude honors there. After Yale College, I went to UCLA Law School, was on law review there, enjoyed that a lot. I'd like to be their, trusted advisor and help them understand and assess the legal risks relating to their business projects. Also, I can help them be more successful, I think, by helping them move in the direction that enables their deals to get done, and whilst at the same time mitigating business risk. But also, I can provide them both with legal advice and business advice.
So my name is Eric Sauve. I'm a paralegal with the law firm of Brandon S. Chabner, and as a paralegal, I support Brandon Chabner, the attorney of the firm. Primarily when it comes to trust, it's very important that trust document reflect the wishes of those that put it together. The trust is your instructions as to how you want your estate distributed and the instructions you're giving to your trustee to do that. A power of attorney allows a trusted person to take on your affairs while you're incapacitated. And in the state of California, if your estate is less than $165,000, then you don't need to have a trust. You can simply distribute those through a will. We just want to get this completed, make sure your wishes are taken care of, so the state of California is not in there taking their piece. You're not paying probate, and your beneficiaries get the most money possible in a tax-free or most tax-efficient manner possible. Having representation in place is incredibly important, and this ties back to the power of attorney, because there are going to be many times in your life where you're not going to be either able to attend for medical reasons, or perhaps emergencies happen in your life. Now you can exercise that power of attorney, and someone else can represent you in your affairs, so you're free to be with your family.
Well, welcome to the show, guys.
Aloha.
Good to be here.
Aloha. So tell my audience your backstory. How did you guys meet? And tell us all about Chabner Law.
Well, you first, Brandon.
Okay, well, I think I met
We met
her
by a mutual friend.
2005, 2000. Yeah, well, there's different versions of this, but I have a friend that introduced me to the Southern California, what is it called? The
SCIA, Southern California Investment
It's
Association.
in Orange County.
Yes.
Yeah, and it's no longer in existence. But while it was out there, I used to go there to hear companies put out their business plans. Sometimes they needed help from a corporate lawyer like me with doing their contracts or assistance in connection with their fundraising. And so I got used to going to those events, and that's where I met Eric through. I believe it was through my friend Jim Herbert.
Exactly.
And that was a long time ago. And since then we have a lot of common interests, as you might have surmised. And the friendship turned into a business relationship eventually. And thank God for that. It's been a great great thing that we met each other, I think.
Definitely. Well,
Yeah.
tell your story behind the law firm. How did you get it started? And let's talk about the different areas that you cover.
Okay. Yeah, I worked for some regional law firms, national law firms as a corporate attorney since 1999 when I came to California and I passed the bar. Before that, actually, I was in Boston from 97 to 99 doing corporate law at a national firm called Hale and Dorr. But eventually, it just reached the point where I wanted to have more control over my life and my schedule and who my clients were. So in 2007, I formed my own firm, and I've been working in the South Bay since 2007. My law firm, I formed that in 2008 as we're a corporation, and I am the sole practitioner, but I rely heavily on Eric with regard to certain types of our practice, the estate planning. We're getting into probate work, and and then I do have relationships with other law firms out there. So I'm a contract attorney basically for a gun for hire for different law firms out there that need somebody with expertise in corporate law.
Wow.
So that's basically my story, and Eric can tell you about what he's been up to in the last few years, and his experience with estate planning, which is really deep, and he has a great knowledge, storehouse of knowledge in that area.
Yeah, what I bring to the firm is the estate planning side, which I started working in trust back in the 1990s. So 90s to close to 30 years now. In wills and trusts and estates and living trusts. And I also have a lot of experience in terms of raising capital in the preparation of SEC compliant documents. And I've taken companies public through SEC filings and listed them on exchanges before. And I've also had some experience in preparing nonprofit documentation. So if somebody's looking to start a nonprofit and wants to make the filings correctly, and not have reduce the risk or minimize the risk of having their tax exemption rejected or delayed, we can take care of that.
So what's the best referral for you guys? Brandon first.
The best referral, a company that's making money, maybe got more business than it knows what to do with, and but it needs help with their contracts. So I can jump in there and work closely with the management, CEO, CFO, whoever is the point person to kind of get their house in order. Not a good idea for even a company with a good product, good business plan to be making contractual commitments without the right paperwork behind them.
Now, do you do MLM law as well?
Well, I mean, I know what you're talking about, multi-level marketing.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm sure I could do that. I've never had a client per se that's needed an MLM contract drawn up, but we do also, I've done plenty of commission agreements and referral agreements. And so, yeah, I mean, I know how that goes, and I could definitely help somebody in that area. Yeah.
Well, the beauty of engaging Brandon, as opposed to, you can hire in-house counsel. It's going to cost a lot more money, and you're not sure what kind of expertise you're getting with Brandon. He'll be your in-house counsel without the cost of in-house counsel. So it's just you just get what you need when you need it. You don't need somebody full-time, but you want somebody of his caliber. And Brandon, I'm sure many lawyers, attorneys here in the Los Angeles area have wonderful pedigree, but I've never met anybody with your pedigree. Where did you go to law school?
Oh, okay. So that's time to.
And your undergrad and your master's. Where did you get those? And then tell us where your work for Jacoby and the firm in Houston.
Oh, okay. Well, if you want to start at the beginning, I went to Winston Churchill High School, public high school in Maryland.
Okay.
I won't go into the middle school and the elementary school, but they were good too. Anyway, I'm a public school guy, and then I went to Yale College, and majored in political science with a focus on international relations, and did well there. I think I achieved what I wanted to get out of there in terms of academic distinctions and honors. And then I went right to law school after that, went to UCLA Law School, and I was on the law review. So I got a chance to, edit articles. I wrote an article on terrorism for the UCLA Law School Law Review, and that was a great experience and got me, kind of got in love with California and Southern California, never got it out of my system. And though I went back to the East Coast and worked for Fulbright and Jaworski in Houston and in DC doing litigation, commercial litigation, and energy regulatory work. And it's a great firm, but I just ultimately decided I wanted to go into corporate law. So after a few years at Fulbright Jaworski, I went to I applied to Harvard Business School, got in there, and went to Harvard Business School, and so I had that experience, and that was wonderful. Great training for working, on projects with other people, and
Well, you graduated. You graduated with an MBA from Harvard, but it wasn't as you attended there a couple of nighttime classes. You got an MBA from Harvard Business School. Thank you. He's so modest.
I didn't need to admit I didn't go there and graduate. I did.
Thank you.
Yeah,
you don't have to.
So yeah, that went fine. I think I did pretty well there, and focus on kind of regular. I took courses all over the place, but a lot of stuff with regulated industries. So sort of still tied in with my law background. Mm-hmm. And then I did have 1 year of regulatory affairs work at Genzyme after business school. And then after that, I jumped at the opportunity to go into corporate law with Hale & Dorr in Boston. And so I did that. And then I was at Hale & Dorr for about two years, and then decided I had to get back to California, and I missed it a lot. My girlfriend from law school was out here. I ended up marrying her, and then I just kind of never left California. And so I've been in California since basically the end of '99. And that's kind of led into worked at some different law firms until I went out on my own. I also had the chance to work at a company for a couple of years. So, as you can see, I've had quite a few different experiences.
You were an in-house counsel for a Fortune 500, or was it a Fortune 500 or Fortune 100 company up in Beverly Hills?
It's a big company. I don't know if it was Fortune 500, but it was a large privately held company with millions of dollars of sales. Had a lot of relationships with the big box retailers, and so it was it gave me a nice platform for building a experience in a documents library for different types of commercial transactions. Mm-hmm. And they were also it was interesting studying how to get along with people that was a foreign the owners were not, they were Iranians and native to Iran, and so it was culturally a lot different, and you had to kind of be flexible and get used to things that worked a different way, as you might imagine. So
they're wonderful businessmen. Yes.
Wow. Yes.
And we're wonderful businessmen too. But we both do things a little bit differently to get to the same place.
Mm-hmm. So that experience helped me, and then I've been doing this since 2008, and you never know when you jump into the ocean and with a little boat what's going to happen, if you're going to get capsized. But my dad kind of gave me the courage to do it, and I'm happy. I'm happier this way. I'd rather be my own boss, and more or less. So I think Eric's probably the same bent. And so that's where we are today. I'm focusing on a lot of corporate and transactional stuff still, but we have this estate planning practice that's building, and we're getting into probate work, and that's exciting. Anytime you start, you're starting something a little different, and there's a lot of need for it out there, as Eric can tell you more about that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, let's talk about that, because it's very important that my audience knows about this, because I've dealt with the situation up north. Actually, my mom did not gift my brother, myself, or a friend the house, and she's actually on Medi-Cal. So all the money from her house actually is going to be going back to the nursing home. So if
Yeah.
Eric, if you guys can talk about the value of, for one, either gifting your home or putting it in the trust, because putting it in the trust is going to protect your asset. Because literally my mom's entire asset is wiped out.
Unfortunately, and what you're
Yeah.
referring to there, Cindy, is a Medicaid protection trust, and that's an irrevocable trust.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason why people need that is if your parents or if yourself, if you're getting older and you think there's a chance that you may need to have skilled nursing care, or that you may need to live in a skilled nursing care facility and get 24-hour round-the-clock treatment, which my mother, 2 months ago, she was perfectly fine. She's, my father and her have been together for 72 years. I was speaking with him in the morning this morning. Now she's in skilled nursing care. And so the thing was, if you then go into it, the state of California will pay for you, so you're fine. There's nobody has to go out of pocket. The trouble is, once you pass away, they're going to want to be reimbursed for that. And usually the only asset people have, if they haven't bought insurance in the past to cover that, or they don't have other investments to pay for that, it's going to be the sale of the home is then going to be used, and at $10,000, $12,000, $15,000 a month, it doesn't, a few years of that, and pretty much all of the equity, pretty much the whole home is going to go to the state there, and that doesn't leave anything for beneficiaries like yourself. The way that clients avoid that is they can either, excuse me, gift the house now while they're living, to individuals, and there's a 2-year look-back period. You have to be really careful here. You've got to do it at least 2 years prior to then incurring costs of a skilled nursing home or for medical costs. So as long as you do it before that 2-year look-back period, you're fine. You can give the home away, or you can put it into a irrevocable trust, where you would be the your mother or the parent would be the settlor. They put it into the trust. You would be the trustee, Cindy, or the children would be the trustee, and the children would be the beneficiary, the end beneficiary of that when the parents pass on. And by that way, the asset is out of the name of the parents, so that when they pass on, so when they go into the nursing home, the state's going to pay for it, because there's no, if you don't have the money, everyone gets accepted here under Medicaid, and when they pass on, then there's nothing there. The home is already out of their name. There's no other assets they can take, so they just call it a day. They write it off. They walk away. That's what the kind of outcome you want to have, and that's the kind of outcome we can help you have through our programs available at the law offices of Brandon S. Chabner.
Let's talk about the power of attorney.
It's very powerful because it allows you to be in two places at once. As I mentioned in the opening video there, Murphy's Law, there'll be something, you'll have a time, for instance, you're going to close on a home and you're going to buy, and the notary wants to come by and spend a couple of hours with you signing that thick telephone book type of document there, where there's dozens and dozens of signatures required on the mortgage doc, and you want to close, and it's very time sensitive, and quite often you could have that scheduled, and then an emergency happens, and it's a family, maybe a parent, maybe you've got to go to a hospital, maybe it's yourself, or maybe it's a child's graduation, or you want to be somewhere where it's important for the family. And so you need to be in two places at once. If you have a power of attorney, if you grant a power of attorney to somebody, then you're letting somebody else be you for that transaction, and so that you can be in those two places. Now they'll be you, so they can basically sign and do everything you can legally do. You can bind you to contracts. They can open investment accounts. They can close investment accounts. They can purchase real estate. They can sell real estate. You can limit it to just that one transaction, or you can leave it open. But either way, it allows a trusted individual that you choose to be able to be you when you can't be you for that, because you've got to be somewhere else. Very powerful.
And one thing that I really want to mention as well is it's super important to have an attorney do the power of attorney paperwork. Because actually my mom got her power of attorney from, I will say it, Home Shopping Network. And
wow, I didn't know they sold those.
It wasn't a very good situation. Yeah, because it's not the same as hiring an actual attorney. So tell my audience what the difference is there.
Well, go ahead, Brendan.
If an attorney doesn't do it, it may be deficient for the purposes that you thought it served, and
exactly.
that could be very damaging and unfortunate. for all parties involved to a transaction that's nullified because it wasn't effectively entered into. So, yeah, guys.
Yeah, that's one of the risks you're running there, because it'll be nullified, or if you've got nothing to lose, well, hey, then what does it matter? You can go to LegalZoom, you can go to Home Shopping Network, you can get your power of attorney, you can buy your living trust there for that matter. But if you've got a home in there and that home's worth a few $100,000 to a few $1 million, as most homes are in Southern California, then you do have something to lose. And why would you want to spend $400 or $500 or $200 or there, when for just a little bit more, and really not that much more, you can have the protection of one, having it done properly with a law firm, and two, having if we make a mistake, we have E&O insurance for that. We're going to make you whole. If you make a mistake, nobody's going to make you whole. You're just out. So that's the two biggest. For just a little bit more money, I urge people to get it done right. I know we all want it. We want to get value for our money. This is better value for the money, because you got nothing to lose. Who cares? But if you got a $1 million asset, do you really want to save a few bucks? Do you think you're going to save a few bucks there by choosing a less expensive option and putting yourself at risk? Probably not.
And don't forget to get it notarized.
Yes. Oh yes.
So we have a comment.
We rely on our notaries.
Oh, love. Wonder Woman.
Oh, there's Love. Yes, I know Love.
Yes. Well,
Yes,
let's
you're
talk
welcome to
about
see it.
something else that I think is really important too, that I found out after I got in my situation. So a lot of power of attorneys have stat giving. So each heir gets 15,000. So can you tell my audience a little bit about that and how we need to make sure that we have that on the power of attorney? Because not all power of attorneys have that.
No, they don't, and it's a choice. And so you can choose to have that there. You can choose not to have that there. You can choose to have your power of attorney where they can do make donations and such. You can choose not to. You've got a lot of flexibility there. If you don't know, if you're not getting guidance from an attorney as to which ones you need, then you're just getting the generic plain Jane version, and that may not be what you really want to have. You may want something where you're going to give 15,000 to each person. You may want to give more. You may want to give less. You may not want to give any. You may want to have it limited to a certain transaction. You may want to have it wide open. You may want to have the power of attorney only effective on springing power, unless you authorize it otherwise. And that means that spring power means your attorney will spring to action when you're incapacitated. So when you're in a coma, you're in a hospital, you're not able to act, and something has to happen, then it can come on automatically. And there's a lot of little nuances there like that, Cindy, that are you want to get the advice of an attorney before you make it effective. And most people are not going to know how to navigate these things if they try and do it themselves.
Lee says 16,000.
Okay, 16,000 for this. Mm-hmm. But it can be. But you can set, that's the default. You can set it for any number you want or not have it at all. So and our back to a good referral for us. 70 for when it comes to a living trust or a family trust, which are two words for the same thing. Anybody who owns a home, regardless of their age, should be held in a trust. However, 70% of homeowners don't hold it in a trust currently. So you'd say, oh, gee, anybody who owns a home is a great referral. Well, they are, but people are procrastinators, especially when it comes to talking about their death and preparing documents around that. So usually it takes another event to make them more motivated to do it. So it's a great referral for us if somebody who owns a home and knows somebody who is facing a life-shortening illness, or they've had someone in their family or a friend pass away, and maybe they're going to get an inheritance. But at least it's fresh in their mind that, geez, life is fragile and we just don't know when our number is going to be called. That's the really good referral. They own a home and they're motivated because something personal has happened to them, and it reminds them, I need to get this looked after before it's too late for me. Because we are handling it. Otherwise, it goes to the probate, which is we're handling a probate case right now for somebody, gentleman, same case. He did not expect to pass away, and he did. He did no will, no trust. And he's got two beautiful young daughters in his 20s who are facing this outside of our firm. They're facing it all alone, and so we're facing it with them. But the three of us, it's a lot harder. It's work now, and it's going to be time consuming. We're going to be the next 18 months to 2 years unraveling this estate and getting everything taken care of. And there's a property there, that we would great if we could sell it today. and not wait for 2 years when it may be, who knows, maybe it's worth 20 or 30% less 2 years when we can finally get the title arranged and we can sell it. But we're going to have to. Unfortunately, and then there's the timing. There was a tenant or some guests that were staying with him when he unexpectedly passed away. Well, they didn't want to leave, and
Oh, wow.
since there was nobody, there's no executor, there's no trustee, there's nobody who could legally tell them to leave. So they stayed as long as they wanted to, and took what they wanted when they left. Yeah. Well, otherwise, but if it's in a trust, you can tell those guests to get moving now. Yeah, so there's a lot of little nuances there that and benefits that come from having one, definitely. Oh, and then the cost, probate cost. In this case, it's going to be tens of thousands of dollars. When it's in a trust, there's no probate cost. There's no all that money gets to stay in the trust and go to your loved ones. So why? For a small amount of money, you can get your family protected. You don't want to delay on these things.
So let's talk really quick before we close out the value of a will and also the final wishes paperwork.
Okay, the will is, especially if you've got minor children. If you don't have minor children, then it's just a pour over to make sure that nothing gets probated. If you've got minor children, it's the only place where you can legally select your guardian. And Murphy's Law, if you don't have it and you haven't selected a guardian, then it's going to be the state of California is going to pick your guardian. And are they going to pick the right one? I don't. Do you want to roll the dice and find out? I don't. I'm sure most parents don't want to either. And a will in itself is not an expensive thing to do. And if you don't have a home, but you've got children, you don't need a trust, but you've got to have that will for that. And with regards to final instructions, and this is what we call it's the combination of the living will and the final instructions. The living will in California, we call it California Healthcare Directive, and that's with regards to, do you want to be resuscitated? Do you not want to be resuscitated if you're in a situation like that? And what kind of care do you want while you're in a hospital? Again, there's no wrong answer, there's no right answer, but there is an answer. Each of us have our choices and preferences, and without those written down in a California Healthcare Directive, people are guessing, and there's no point in guessing. Will they make the right choice? Will they not? Who knows? Final instructions, of course, is what would you like done? Do you want to be buried? Do you want to be cremated? A lot of wonderful people, and it is Friday, and it's Military Friday. We want to remember everyone deployed. It's a red Friday. I'm wearing red in party here, and I've got it under my shorts, or under my pants here. Anyone who's deployed, they can get a military funeral. They can be buried in a military cemetery. And every veteran I've dealt with, they don't want to be cremated. They want to go, or they certainly want their remains to be interred in a military cemetery. That final instructions will record that. People like myself, hey, just take my ashes and throw them in the dumpster behind In-N-Out. I'll be happy with that. But that's my wishes. Again, there's no wrong answer, there's no right answer, but it's important that your wishes get recorded.
So I want to be buried out in sea on an outrigger in Hawaii. So I have to pay for the cremation and I have to pay for the outrigger service. Do I also need a will because I don't have a house, or can I just do those two services?
What you want here is a will, and then that separate instruction for final instructions, because the final instructions aren't in the will either. It's a separate document. And again, it's standalone document. A will and that are not expensive. We're not talking. It's not thousands of dollars. It's just hundreds of dollars. It's not an expensive thing to do, but it will ensure that that'll be done right. Your wishes will be carried out.
So this is a fun part of my show, and I love doing this because it's Pay It Forward Friday. And so who would you two like to pay it forward and shout out today?
What is that, Eric? Or can you explain what that means? Pay it forward?
Yeah.
Yeah, so someone who has added value to your life, a business partner, a spouse. Who would you like to thank today?
Or a vendor.
Or a vendor.
Vendor we've dealt with. We have to thank Linda Blair, because without Linda Blair's help, the videos, the commercial clips that you saw at the beginning of this clip would not have occurred without her. The wonderful website we have at chabnerlaw.com would not have occurred without Linda Blair. The organization of our clients, having them down in a database and being able to contact them and do batch contact would not be possible without her, and many other things as well. And she works for Thrive. Brandon, her company's called Thrive. Yeah. And Thrive is THRYV.com.
Yep.
And we encourage everybody to check that out for Thrive. It's because what that does is Brandon, I'm certain. Well, we have gotten business on the trust side, because people have gone to our website and seen, okay, these guys are legit, and we look legit, and through that, it takes time, but we're moving up in the rankings. So when people just search in Manhattan Beach, Hermosa Beach, or Newport Beach for a business attorney or a trust attorney, we'll be there, and we're moving up. And Thrive helps you move up in the rankings and improve your profile, because there's no one or two things you can do today. SEO does so much. Thrive will cover all that for you in one monthly payment, in one package. It's very powerful. So Linda Blair, shout out to you, Linda Blair, and I encourage everybody, if you haven't heard of Thrive, call Linda Blair, call us, we'll give you Linda's number. We'd love to refer you, and you've got it's very good value. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I second that.
Mm-hmm.
And
I want to do a shout out to Lee Love. I've actually known her for about 5 years, since I moved here from Northern California. And she actually introduced me to Eric, and just very grateful for that relationship. And of course, Brandon, I'm so grateful to have met you. And I'm just very excited to move forward and see how we could help each other with referrals and just continue this amazing relationship.
You're a great guest on our show.
Thank you.
Yeah, we're looking forward to having you back on July 16th a Saturday? I don't have my calendar in front of me.
I think 15th or 16th. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we're going to have you back on.
Yeah. So one more thing. It is a holiday weekend. What are you going to do to pay it forward to make a difference in someone's life in a random act of kindness?
Oh, a random act of kindness. So I'm Kathy and I are dog sitting somebody's sweet fur baby right now, but that's not a random act of kindness. But we are that's something we are paying it forward there, because it's we normally don't house dogs here, but we are this weekend. It's good for Chab Dog.
I don't know what I'm doing this weekend per se, but I do give to this Goodwill consistently, and
nice.
I'll keep doing that. And I don't know if somebody needs free legal advice, call me up and I'll see what I can do. I have some time available, but everybody's got to stay in business too. So I do what I can.
Exactly.
Well, and we do offer advice, through our relationship with MetLife Legal Services.
Right.
We do offer a lot of advice, and not all of it's billable for people who are having landlord-tenant disputes, or tenants having disputes with their landlords. And so we, whether we can bill it or not, we help those people understand how that law works, and understand how not how they can fight the landlord, but how they can be aware of the regulations, so that both of them can find a good meeting of the minds in the middle, and so they don't have to be adversaries anymore. I like to remove. Brandon and I are looking to remove the adversarial relationship here.
I want to talk about what I'm going to do this weekend. And I actually did it with 15 people a couple days ago. I called Eric and let him know I'm very grateful for him. I called Lee and several other business partners and referral partners. And just all about just being very grateful to that person. Not about when do you want to book your next vacation? When would you like to send a card and gift? Anything related to my services. Hey, this is Cindy. I just want to let you know I'm very grateful. Let's connect another time. But it's super important to lead with being a person of gratitude. Or even when you're at a networking event, be the connector. Instead of just handing out your card for them to do business with you, connect them to people at the events. And also this weekend, if I run into a homeless person, I'm going to buy them a sandwich, a cookie, and a bottled water.
That's always, good advice. There's plenty of them. Mm-hmm. Too many, unfortunately.
Yeah. Yep. So we are about to close out. Any last minute tip for people to protect their asset?
You've got to come see us. Yeah, give us a call. We've got offices in the South Bay and in Orange County, primarily coastal Orange County, but we'll serve anywhere in Orange or LA County. And we can come see us here in Newport Beach. This is my the Chabner office here in Newport Beach. He's in the Chabner the records. See, you can see Brandon loves paper, so he likes to keep a lot of paper and files.
I'm in the process
stored.
Of going away with some of these boxes.
Hey, that's only 10 years of keeping paperwork, right?
That's 20 years actually. Yeah.
Oh, 20?
Yeah.
I hope the fire marshal didn't see this.
Well, have you ever seen The Odd Couple? He's Oscar Madison was a very effective sports writer, but his office looked a lot like Brandon's, and I'm Felix. My office looks a lot like Felix's. So we're the odd couple that way, but we get along extremely well. Yeah, we balance each other very well in that regard.
Yes. Yes. This it's a little slightly different because I'm still married and I haven't been kicked out of my house yet.
Yes.
Well, one shout out for your podcast and Green Room.
Check out chabdog.com and the podcast we do every week. We're doing one tomorrow. Mm-hmm. We have a subscription drive right now. Don't click and subscribe and be part of the tribe. It don't cost nothing.
Yep.
Yeah. It don't cost nothing. Give us a try. Yeah, subscribe. It's because on YouTube, of course, the program there, the algorithm as they call it, works that the more subscribers you have, the more they'll promote it to other people you don't even know. But if you only the fewer subscribers, the fewer people that report. So we'd love to get the free promotion, get the snowball moving here. And but check out the show. So it's the CH as Brandon there, where you have his name there, chabdog.com.
Yes.
If you go to that site, it'll take you. Then from there, you'll see the YouTube right at the top of the page. You can click on that and go to our YouTube channel. Yeah, please like and subscribe there to it. And I hope I think you'll find it to be a very different and entertaining show that we produce here on the dock every Saturday. And Brandon, we have 373, 63 episodes now.
We have.
Wow. Okay.
There's a lot of shows.
That's one a week for over 7 1/3 years.
Yeah,
there'll be more coming.
Yeah, that's why it's about a year's worth in 7 years. We did do a show once every 7 days at least. Mm-hmm. And so there's a lot of entertainment, a lot of content. We play a lot of clips. I like movies, so I throw things in there, even though Eric doesn't like the complications. What's that?
And The Catch.
The Catch, yes, with Dwight Clark.
Oh,
Joe Montana.
Yeah. That was a great show when you were on.
One thing I want to mention also for anybody who's watching, when you subscribe to a channel on YouTube, you also want to make sure to hit the bell icon because then you'll get notified of other awesome videos. And you want to comment. That's actually going to help with the algorithms as well. So not just subscribe, but you want to comment on those. Yes.
Okay.
Well, that goes with Cindy Connector too. So if anyone wants to pay it forward for Cindy Connector, make sure you like and subscribe to this show that we're on right now.
I subscribed.
Yeah, I have too, and we're going to be promoting this. Brandon, you're going to be promoting this on your Facebook platform.
Yes.
And I'm promoting this on my Twitter platform.
Send me the links and everything.
They're in the email that we got today, so we've already got them. They're already good.
Oh, we already got it? Okay.
Exactly.
All right.
So I'm going to put you in a green room. I'm going to close out for about 1 minute if you guys hang tight so we could chat for a few after, okay?
Okay.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Cindy.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So make sure that you go to Chab Dog Sports on YouTube. You're going to hit subscribe. You're going to hit that bell icon and you're going to comment and definitely share one of their videos and stay tuned tomorrow for their amazing show right here in beautiful Newport Beach. And of course, go to the Chabner Law website. You can actually see it here on YouTube. So this is Cindy over at Ask Cindy Connector Live. I do have a bit of bad news. I'm going to be on hiatus for the rest of the year as I'm publishing my very first book. So I'm designating Friday to get all this done. So definitely check it out. I will be back the first week of January, but you can stay tuned every single Wednesday to my travel podcast at Bucket List Coach Web Show Live. And if you need a concierge for either travel or for your business, make sure you go to surfcityconcierge.com. Have a wonderful weekend, make a difference, and enjoy this holiday and make a difference every single day.